What's up, y'all? I hope everybody's doing well. We're here for our midweek alchemy message where we're taking a deeper look into the process as we show up and are, living and working through the soul lessons that life has on our plate this week. So from the Wild Unknown Alchemy deck, we pulled Solutio or Disillusion, followed by Mortifactio or Mortification, and then followed by Stibus, Antimony. Underneath Disillusion, we've got Eight of Swords to clarify. Underneath Mortification, we have Knight of Cups. And underneath Antimony, we have Two of Pentacles. All right, let us dive in. So, disillusionment, mortification, and antimony. Disillusion is the kind of beginning stages or the first beginning phase of alchemy. It's water breaking down solids to dilute them. This is talking about what we've been going through over the past few months that have really been dissolving the last strongholds that our ego has been holding over us, that have kept us in old patterns, old stories. And so this is bits of the personality that we can see that we're just done with, that are making us feel trapped and pinned in. And it's all an illusion. These things can dissolve away very quickly and instantly as soon as we really see it clearly and we're just finally emotionally done with it. We're ready to process and purge and move forward into a new life, into an up-leveled timeline. So we're ready to break free from what has been making us feel backed against a corner or confined or, shut in or small or restricted. So basically, earlier, I just had the phrase come to me. It's like we have to, I wrote it down. We have to dissolve what we find to be solid in order to form a solution. So maybe if we can be flexible and not be rigid and and dissolve ourselves from preconceived notions, then that is how we will form a solution or get divine inspiration and guidance about how to move forward as we are, starting a new cycles, new major journeys, and embodying a new sense of self and a new version of self that we've never had before. It's like as we let go of what we, are rigidly clinging to for this illusion of security, or even just being attached to our old identity of self. It's like we're really just sort of letting that go and saying goodbye to the old version of the self that we were. And there may be some, emotion coming up this week to purge that through. Maybe tears will come up. I know that I was on a run the other day and just randomly some stuff started coming up from my subconscious and memories started coming through, and I started connecting the dots about some things, and I actually started crying during my jog, and it was moving all these tears, and I was kind of sobbing, and I was heaving, and I had to stop and catch my breath because I was but basically I was where did this come from? I wasn't in a down mood or anything, and I wasn't necessarily thinking about that, but Spirit brought it up to me to be able to purge in that moment. You know, I feel like when you go running or when you dance or when you do like a movement disciplines that really get the body heated and malleable, it's almost as if you are running away from that old version of self and you're burning it away, you know, as you're running. And so, you know, our energy is malleable. And so when we're doing activities like this, or, you know, get into like some kind of mundane cleaning or organization project, decluttering, and you'll find that like the subconscious really brings things up. And so allow it to come forward. I remember thinking like, oh yeah, the readings this week were warning us that like things are going to be purging out. And so just let them, because I know that it's like we're all kind of like over it at this point. We're just like, oh, I just want to move on and like be done with it and bypass and be finished with the healing. And don't worry, this isn't like you going back around in circles and circles. It's just coming up to be purged, so it's out of your system. So really, don't fight it. Allow it to come out. We're really just mourning the old idea of self that we're not clinging to anymore. We're not attached to that. And so maybe, you know, there have been things that have come up recently that have been disappointments. Or maybe you have, you know, looked at something in a grounded, like realistic way, and you've come to an acceptance with something. But either way, I think that this sense of disillusionment can come with a positive result. I think it's going to come to give us like a fire. It's going to light the fire under our ass. It's going to be very motivating and very inspiring. And I think it's going to set us free, actually, and be very liberating and like help us just be so over it that we just let go of all the old like stories that we used to tell ourselves. If you find yourself interacting with a person that you normally would be very frustrated with all the time, very annoyed with, like if you can interact with them and have a pleasant interaction, like ask yourself, like, do I still need to harbor this irritance toward this person? Like maybe we can turn over a new leaf, you know, like those kinds of things could come up this week. It's like, oh, once you go into that pattern again and you catch yourself, you can be like, does this feel good? Can I get rid of this pattern? Like, am I aware of this now? Can I pause? And can I think proactively and choose with my like sovereign free will, like who I want to be and how I want to go forward and how I want my days to feel and all of that. So we're really becoming more conscious. We're letting what we think was so solid, so sure, so rigid, you know, these ideas, these identities that we cling to, we're letting them go and we're being freed. And so mortification and Knight of Cups. This kind of Knight of Cups kind of ties in with that disillusionment. It's like Knight of Cups is theatrical and dramatic and whimsical and, you know, romantic and caught up in the excitement and all into it. And so the mortification, this is like sort of like stagnant decay, right? And so there are certain things that maybe we have, you know, sort of romanticized something or not taken it seriously and not been grounded about it. And so that has kept us in patterns that have caused stagnation or decay in various areas of our life. And so part of this disillusionment is giving us the wherewithal and the motivation and the determination to like remove the decay, remove the stagnancy, move on past what's dead and gone in our life and allow that to just dissolve and wash away. One thing I meant to mention is that this week it would be really good to work with water as a healing agent in a figurative way, in a metaphysical way, and in a literal way. So drink a lot of water. That'll flush the toxins out of you from the inside. You can, you know, put an intention to metaphysically flush the toxins out of your energy field and out of your life. And then also taking like hot Epsom salt baths, especially when you put some intention and ritual around them. You know, maybe do some like affirmations and mantras and things in the tub. Maybe do some meditations to release the toxins and allow that that Epsom salt to pull that out, whilst also grounding your energy and purifying you on an energetic level too. So that will help to work with water to dissolve the toxins, to dissolve blocks that are in your way, and to dissolve things that are into things that have built up in your ego, right? That are holding you back, that are blocking you. Yes, so things that are just not serving you anymore, that are not bringing life forward, that are not motivating and inspiring you. We need to cut away and cleanse this death so that we can have a rebirth of a passion for life and a feeling of being inspired and a feeling of romance with life. You know, this doesn't always have to be like a sexual romance with another person. You can be, you know, I'm overly romantic about everything. I romanticize everything. When I go out into the forest, I'm like, oh, the forest. I'm like walking through the path. I'm like, the trees are alive. Like everything is like so whimsical about it. And I love it. And I hate when life gets dull and gray and I feel like not fulfilled and I can't connect to that inner spirit and that inner romance, the inner romantic in me. And you know, this is the poet, this is the actor, the performer, right? And so we want to get rid of the parts of us that were performing or that weren't honest or that were maybe like a little bit playery or not devoted or committed to our dreams or ourself. And we want to instead let those parts die, but let the upper octaves of that come back and let that inspiration and that zest for life and that, you know, optimism and fun side, let that come through now. And that will help inspire our creativity as well. And then this life that we want to create. And it'll reignite that passion in our heart. Because if we don't have passion as we are taking action in our dreams, then there's nothing to really like fuel like the manifestation. There's no magnetism. There's no energy for the universe to attach to cling on to. So it's our passion, it's the emotion that really starts to move the energy. And which leads us into the Stibus card or Antimony. This is depicting a wolf. And so this substance is an aggressive substance in the lab that will eat at and corrode metals. But gold withstands this. And so gold, you know, when we think about gold symbolically, it's that which is eternal, that won't corrode, that won't break down. It's the value that we have drawn and created and attained from the process of our transformation, from living through experience and gaining wisdom and then embodying that. It's about, you know, the gold is the compassion, the healing. The gold represents things that which are eternal, that can't be taken away from us. It's like when we know the truth and we live the truth will set us free. So it's like that level. And so gold is the thing that's withstanding all of these harshities in life right now that feel like they're just breaking us down and sucking our energy. You know, this can be an element that can be destructive. It can suck your energy. It can represent like a tear in your aura where you're leaking energy or you're giving more and not getting back equal, you know. But this wolf here, it's the part of us that's like ready and carnal and wanting to go after what we want, the hunter that's driven and hungry. And so this can be the part of us that's like, there's like something eating away at us, and we want to it's like the thing that's eating away at us is that we feel like we're not going after what we want. And so that angst inside, it gives us this like energy and motivation to really go after, you know, what it is that we're doing. And we have the Two of Pentacles underneath here. So there is like this balancing act of balancing, like, you know, all the areas of our life right now, but maintaining a sense of like spiritual nourishment and fulfillment, and also like putting in all the energy and time and resources that we can have into grounded execution. Like we want to come at the like our desires and manifestations from all angles. We want to do the spiritual work that prepares the vessel for the manifestation to actually happen. We want to be taking action towards the actual manifestation. We want to be in prayer about it. You know, there's so many things that we can do from every angle, and it is a balancing act. And so this card here, it's like we need to channel all of this angsty energy into taking that creative action and putting our intention in what we are becoming and what we are creating, and try not to let that angsty energy cause destruction or eat at you or cause you to be impulsive or wasteful in your energies or in your intent. I'm actually going to read. I'm going to read the parts of these cards really quick. Disillusion, surrender, dissolving, formlessness. Solutio is the great alchemical operation of water. It represents the form becoming formless. And that's another thing I wanted to say, is that it just does kind of feel like right now we're in this like limbo where we are not who we have been, and we are feeling the self that we are becoming rising in the moment. It's just that we're not quite that person yet, and we're not quite in the life that that person is living yet. It's like we're in the very, very early stages, the very beginning. So everything feels unclear, and we feel a little adrift. We feel a little bit like a blank slate. Like we're like, I don't know who I am or what I'm doing right now. It's like almost like, did I wake up from like how long have I been out kind of thing. Like it feels like almost like coming back from amnesia or something. But yeah, so it's like we're not fully formed yet, but we are, we're coming online. So it does feel a little bit disorienting. It represents the form becoming formless. Alchemical text. Sorry. It represents the form becoming formless, that which is solid dissolving into liquid. In many alchemical texts, it is the first operation and summarizes the heart of alchemy, as in the axiom solve et coagula, coagula, dissolve to unite. And I love that. It's like we have to dissolve our ego to unite with affinity of the creator. It's like as we dissolve our ego, then we are completely connected and united with the light. There's nothing like separating us from that light anymore. For our purposes, it is important to know that solutio involves a dissolving of definitions, identities, and labels. The strongholds of the ego drown in the emotional realm of water. We dive back to the beginning, the prima materia. This operation is humbling and disorienting, and oftentimes feels as though the self we knew has disappeared. Who are we now? Will others describe us? Or who are we now? How will others describe us? When these questions are afoot, the alchemical magic of solutio is underway. By surrendering to the waves, we unite with the primordial essence and return to our deepest self. And then I wanted to read antimony. Wilderness, fierceness, hunger. In medieval times, antimony was known as the gray wolf of alchemy. This was due to the metalloid's unpredictable qualities and its ability to eat away at materials in the laboratory. Gold is one of the few materials to withstand contact with it. For this reason, this card must be read with delicacy. On one hand, it represents the wild and free spirit that longs to express itself in the world. On the other hand, it represents a fierceness that can turn destructive or corroseness at the drop of a hat. You know, there was another message in one of our drawings over the last couple of days, and it was about not winning at all cost, and having integrity about it's not worth like having like a win or lose, you know, kind of situation. This message, the message is clear. Channel the gray wolf's energy toward creativity. Challenge it to come out from the shadows and express itself. Embark on the creative project or adventure that's calling you, rather than focusing on why you can't. So focus your energy on following what's calling you, rather than focusing your attention on why you can't do it. Once you begin, don't quit. Gray wolf responds to respect, not repression. So yeah, really just, you know, wait for that moment of divine inspiration. And then when you get that ping, that sense of direction, that idea, follow it. Don't let it sit there. Don't keep talking about it. When in Kabbalah, we call that leaving an empty vessel. It's like when we have an idea and it comes to us and we don't follow it and we keep talking about it, we keep getting energy by like just like dreaming about it and thinking about the potential. We're just getting high on the potential. It's called leaving an empty vessel, and it creates chaos. It actually draws in energy that has no direction and no intent or purpose, and it's just wild, undirected energy up in the air, and it creates chaos. And it'll like start happening in little ways that just fester into like irritating problems that, you know, maybe get worse. All right, you guys. So we're dissolving a lot of what we thought was so solid, you know, letting go of these preconceived notions about ourselves, letting go of old stories and narratives and habits of thinking, getting on these like ticks of thinking and feeling certain ways. We're just trying to really question everything and let things be really changed. Getting, you know, setting ourselves free from these patterns and these mindsets, our fears and insecurities, indecision that's holding us back. It's like this person here is in this cage and they could get out, and they're just feeling apathy and self-pity, honestly. And we all get there. We all go through these ups and downs, and it's like, yeah, we are going through like this ego death. So there's a lot of emotion to process. So don't beat yourself up about it. You know, just be tender and understanding with yourself and others, and compassionate, and allow this to move past. And don't keep holding on to it though. Don't keep obsessing over what you're healing or what you're moving past or what you're letting go of. Instead, just start really being in the present. Don't keep worrying about the past. Don't keep obsessing over the future. Just use all of your power and get the most of your power and effectiveness in the present moment, in the now. And you will be creating a future that will bring you lasting fulfillment and value, because you will be building from a place of value and fulfillment in the moment. All right, y'all. I hope you have a good rest of your night or day, and I will see you in the next video for, let's see, what's tomorrow? I'm literally like, is it Monday? No, it's not Monday. Tomorrow will be our romance oracle reading for the week. It'll be Thirsty Thursday. All right, ciao.